and with a repeated exposure to it. And I'm sure the West Garth Kindred children will definitely be experiencing those kind of things. We have rangers all over Victoria, so to help them deliver programs similar to the Dandenongs one, there is now an activity list that we provide to our rangers to give them more confidence in running education programs and programs involving kids. It's with the history of Parks Victoria, it's not always been something that's been seen to be top priority for a ranger to do, but I'm really pleased to see that things are changing, and it is definitely a strong part of what a ranger needs to do now. Not all rangers have the skills, and so won't all be doing it, but at least if the ones who want to do it and are capable of doing it have got the support to do that, we can spread the word further. The next thing I want to talk about is our community engagement area, because what about all the other communities in this wonderful diverse city that we live in? So our community engagement area is helping to overcome that lack of knowledge and sometimes that fear barrier that especially new multicultural groups might have towards parks. Earlier this year they ran an urban camping program. So they took underprivileged families from housing estates who would rarely go to a park, and they went to Nyoka Bush Camp, which is in Plenty Gorge, so it's just north of the city. They provided tents for them, and so they had to put them up themselves. They did some junior ranger activities with the rangers there, and they also had a session with the Wurundjeri people on spear throwing and what country means to them. So, and they had a ball. I'm sorry I don't have any pictures for that, these are just miscellaneous children's pictures. But they were mainly Sudanese and Vietnamese people. There's also more of these planned for down on the west coast somewhere, and there was also a camp out for older youth in Barna on the Murray. In addition to that, they also run Discover programs. So this is where cultural communities are taking on familiarity outings with a ranger so they can develop the confidence and comfort to be in the park. Now some of these people didn't really know what to expect when they came on these outings, and there was one lady in particular, sort of on the extreme end, who was really worried there was a tiger that was going to jump out and attack her from behind trees. So these people have come to the country with what they expect from their parks, and they don't really know that our parks are different and much safer in some ways than theirs might be. So some of these programs, these kinds of programs are just an important first step in showing these communities that the parks are free, they're fun, and they're safe. And lastly, just quickly on that, our playgrounds group has also taken the lead from Botanic Gardens and City of Manningham and a few others to move more into playscapes that you've seen some examples of before, rather than the old style of playgrounds. We have lots of partnerships, and many of our partners are also doing their bit in encouraging kids to go outside. One not mentioned there, there's many others that are not mentioned there, but one of those is Orienteering Victoria, and they have fantastic success stories of turning, otherwise sort of sullen and disinterested children into, wow, it's a Pomaderus types. So, just to finish, I'm going to take off my Parks Victoria hat and put on my Dragonfly Dance hat. One of the barriers to kids spending time outdoors is that they have too many scheduled activities. Swimming, dancing, as I think Sue mentioned before, they run from one thing to another. And I was a rather overscheduled child, but still somehow came out with a respect and love for the environment, so not all is lost from the overscheduled children. However, I teach dance and I didn't want to be part of the problem, so I've been trialling some of my classes outside to sort of incorporate the two, and this particular one is one that I ran at a festival. Dancing has so many benefits. It's one of the best activities for preventing dementia in old age, apparently, so go and enrol in a dance class now. And the reason being is it combines a physical, mental and social interaction, not unlike being in a park. So I'd like to help it move slightly from the barriers section back into the benefits section. And it doesn't have to be just dancing. I see it as either dancing, singing, visual arts or theatre. They can all act as a little bit of a hook to get the kids into the parks in the first place, because their parents feel like that they're learning something and that there's an event to attend in many cases, and then while they're there, who knows what they could discover. So you could add on like self-guided programs to the end of it, or just point out one tree that's in flower at the time, or find something, get them to find something before they go home. Anything just to keep them in the park a little bit longer and encourage them to come back again. So this is all just my thoughts in progress. There's no formal programs around this. This is just a bit of a trial and error thing. And of course, when you take kids outside that you're trying to teach something, there's certain challenges in getting them to listen. But I figure if they're off wandering off somewhere and staring at a tree, well, that's kind of okay too. Oh, here we go. There's some kids walking. Oh, it's fallen off the end there. There's a little girl with a drum. We've got some music as well. And before every good dance class, you have to stretch. The other reason that made me think of this was that people around the world have traditionally danced inside and outside as part of their cultures. I think this is some Pontian dancing we're doing here. So I think it's kind of a natural motivation and hook to get kids and their carers outside. And in addition to all the other hooks that you might already have, I thought, it's just one more thing. So on that note, I'll wrap up. If you need any more information on Parks Victoria, Rangeroo, Junior Ranger, go to parkweb.vic.gov.au. If you want to know what a Commoderis is, go ask a ranger, or perhaps someone from Botanic Gardens. And if you want to know where you can learn to dance, you can ask me.